basketball too.
Good morning, everyone. We are 8 minutes shy of noon here in Topeka, Kansas, and getting things underway. And game one of the border war between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Missouri Tigers on a blustery, windy, gray day here in Topeka. Kansas finally playing their first home series of the season. They've been on the road quite a bit. Rosencrans is offering, grounded over towards short, on to Kyle Davis at first, and Danny DeHart grounds out to start things off for the Missouri Tigers.
It's good to finally be home in a way, about 30-minute drive from Lawrence to Topeka, but anything is better than that drive to Omaha we had a few weeks ago. 3 hours wasn't terrible, but nice to be able to be close to home, sleep in your own bed.
Yeah, that was certainly a long drive, so we're definitely happy to be here. As that one's poked out toward right field, Gawitz coming on, excellent grab! Quinn Gawitz out in right field, an early web gem here on a Saturday morning.
A little bit of defense, haven't seen a whole bunch of that so far this season, but heck of a play by Gawitz out there in right field and
laying out for it. So quickly 2 down here as Kyle Ruff steps in for Mizzou. Swings at the first pitch he sees and pops it foul. Taking a look at the defensive alignment for Kansas, Jackson Pollock out in center field, Shayton Wright playing second base. I guess we could probably do this a little more efficiently if I just go position by position rather than reading off the lineup. 0-1 here from Rosencrans is left outside for 1-1. So it's Max Rosencrans on the hill, Mike Ray behind the dish, and then it's Kyle Davis at first, Shayton Wright at second, Justin Orloff over at third, as that's left outside 2-1. Grant O'Doherty playing short, and then out patrolling the outfield, it's Jackson Pollock in center field, Keelan Tunnel in left, and Quinn Gawitz, who just made that grab in right field, as that's outside 3-1.
Kind of a chillier day, so don't expect the ball to be zooming, not too far at least. Should be pitching and defense today.
3-1 is lined out towards center field. Pollock will have it drop in between him. And Kyle Ruff is aboard with a base hit single, but he does not advance further. And just to issue a preliminary apology, it is very windy here in Topeka today. So the wind is going to get caught up by these J School mics. Might not sound great. I'm very sorry. I wish there was something we could do about it. We do not have the money to get wind guards or anything, so we're kind of just doing what we can here.
The perfect time to drop the patented catchphrase of "That's club baseball."
True that. So the cleanup man, Jake Walker, stepping in here. He's got a man aboard. And he'll hit one sharply over towards short. O'Doherty flips to right. And we're through the top of the first. Rosencrans allows a single, but nothing more. Welcome back to Topeka. Bottom of the first on tap for you guys. Jackson Pollock is going to lead off for the Kansas Jayhawks. And Kansas last weekend against Rockhurst, they were able to, in both games, jump out to early leads, and they just couldn't sustain it.
That's going to be a big key today, especially with the weather the way it is. Not super warm, not a lot of humidity, so the ball's not going to be traveling, but you gotta keep on early and often. Don't want to be helping the pitcher out, make him work out there. Take a little bit longer than last inning took.
So Pollock will step in here and take the first pitch he sees for strike number one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but on that front foot, he's got the bright pink leg guard. He's debuting that this weekend. He fouled the ball off his foot last weekend against Rockhurst and then was in the cages as he pokes that one foul. He was in the cages and fouled another off the same foot, so tough luck for the center fielder, and he's taken some precautions this weekend to prevent that from happening again.
A little bit of style with it, too. Look good. You play good.
0-2 is left high, and a nice snag from Matthew Andrews behind the plate for Mizzou to prevent that from going over his head.
High fastball is as easy as it may seem. It's very tough to lay off that pitch.
1-2, and he'll rip it foul again onto one of the other fields. Here at the Bettis Sports Complex, Kansas's first games here at the complex since taking down Kansas State back in October. They played 2 fall series here against Iowa State and K-State as Pollock jumps on that one, hit sharply but misplayed over at shortstop. And Jackson Pollock will reach on an error to start things off here for the Jayhawks. You can probably hear that wind now. I can see my mic levels not sounding too awesome just because of the wind.
It is whipping a little bit. Last week we were in a nice enclosed, like a true press box.
That was wonderful.
It was nice. It was a nice day too, of course. So didn't really fully get to experience that weather. But like I said, it's not terrible today. But wind is something to keep an eye on. It's coming in straight from center field. Anything up in the air is going to die. It's going to come back towards us behind home plate.
Got some beautiful scenery out in the outfield. There's I can't tell what that building is. Pollock tucks and goes. Throw down is not in time. Jackson Pollock, a head-first slide, running on the first pitch he sees. But now there's a Phillips 66 out there beyond right field, a couple other buildings. Just beautiful scenery today, don't you think?
Got a restaurant, a bank, and a water tower, and then maybe a little strip center out in left field.
As that just catches the corner and right with a little nod. Didn't love it.
I missed the first pitch on that steal. Was that a ball or a strike?
I believe it was a ball, I'm not totally sure.
I looked outside. I didn't see a
Third
call.
pitch incoming, and it's left a little low for a ball. I'm sorry, it was a strike on that first pitch, so right now in a 1-2 count. Walker looking to negate the leadoff error. He'll loop one in there. Right sends it out towards center. It's going to sit down. Pollock will stay put on second. And Shayton Wright notches Kansas's first hit of the afternoon.
Nice piece of hitting there. Hit the ball where it's pitched. He's able to keep his weight back and wait for that breaking ball to get to him. And hits it right where it's pitched. Perfectly falls in center field, and a little bit of motion on the bases here early for the Jayhawks.
So Kyle Davis will step in here with ducks on the pond for Kansas, looking to jump on the Tigers early in what is currently slated as game 1 of a 3-game border war, as that stays just a little outside for ball 1. We'll play 2 7-inning games today, as usual. Tomorrow we're slated for a 9-inning full game, but the weather is not looking to be in our favor, as that's going to be popped foul. It's looking pretty ugly tomorrow. Kansas's actual baseball team has already said, we're not going to play tomorrow. We'll just play a doubleheader today on Saturday. So the Jayhawks and Kansas State Wildcats in the Sunflower Showdown will play 2 in Lawrence today.
Little late game heroics last night.
Jackson Hauge, how about it? Very nice guy. Had a good interview with him afterward.
Remember the one game I was able to make it to, the Husker game, and hit an absolute rocket, dead center field over the batter's eye.
Hooped foul, and it'll end up in the field behind us. Davis grounded sharply, flip onto second, throw over to first in time. A double play. Pollock goes to third. But all of a sudden, Walker looking to get out of it for Missouri with the cleanup man, Justin Orloff, coming to the dish.
The dreaded momentum-killing double play. Got a guy on third base standing just 90 feet away. See if they can't salvage a run.
First pitch to Orloff is swung on, and he was just a little bit underneath it.
Nice looking pitch there. Looked like maybe some kind of slider, maybe sweeper. Throws off the timing.
As that'll stay just low for ball one. So yes, like we said, we're currently slated to play the 9-inning game tomorrow, but the weather does not look to be in our favor. If we do, it'll just be me, all by my lonesome tomorrow on Easter Sunday. But I will have that for you as that's poked out toward right field and hooked directly foul.
Got prearranged church plans tomorrow with the grandparents, so
it's wonderful.
Apologize to leave the partner hanging, but
No,
sometimes you got bigger things.
Yeah. I'll get up, I'll watch the service as Orloff swings through that one, and Walker gets out of a jam. So we're through one. Both teams strand a base runner. Back here for the top of the second, after both teams left runners aboard in the first. It'll be Max Rosencrantz back to work here for Kansas. And that'll run a little inside.
I don't know if you managed to see last night, but you were busy last night. But this game's giving me flashbacks of last night's Royals game. Both teams, well, one team for sure, Detroit, they did take advantage of their opportunities. The Royals left 13 on base and 1 run. They're in a heck of a slump right now, losing 5 in a row.
Yeah, that'll be crucial today, especially. This is a Kansas team still searching for their first win. Runs inside.
Be a couple key focal points. Limit the big inning on defense and maybe have a couple of big innings on offense. So
absolutely.
As we know, the defensive big innings, I believe in the 5 games I've been here, we've seen at least 1 per game.
Swung on, sent toward right field. It's going to be over Gowitz's head. He can't make the play. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Wibbenmeyer is going to dig around for third. He'll hold up at second. John Wibbenmeyer, a leadoff double. And Missouri is quickly back in business here in the top of the second.
It looked like Gowitz out in right field. Didn't get a great read on that ball. It was going to be a tough play anyway. I don't know if he would have had it if he made a perfect read, but his first step was in, and that's the first thing they teach you when you're in the outfield. You know, you got to take your first step back. You can always come into it. It's a lot easier to come in than it is to turn around and track it.
Chopped foul.
home plate umpire and take a minute. I just give his catcher a little bit of time. Got his bell ring there. It's always interesting. It doesn't really hurt, but you can feel your whole brain just ringing in your head.
It catches you off guard a little bit. It kind of almost wakes you up.
Another interesting topic too. Mention the umpire. We only got one today. Just the man behind home plate.
Hooking foul, and then they'll be out of play.
Milka's putting up a good battle here. I think Rosencrantz going to try and get him to chase, maybe.
Rosencrantz kicks and fires. Outside, it's taken for a ball. Milka at the plate trying to win the battle for best Trevor here at Bettis Family Sports Complex today.
Tough battle.
Yeah, tough to beat yours truly here as he takes that for ball 2.
Which Trevor?
And we've got a second umpire.
Superior Trevor. Oh, he's a little bit late.
Strolled in fashionably late. That's the way to do it.
Better late than never.
Exactly. 2-2 is fouled back.
Keep going, you got this.
Luckily for him, or maybe not so lucky, I don't know how he feels, but hasn't missed a whole lot of action yet.
Yeah, it's been a quick one thus far. Quick first inning.
It's, forgot what it felt like. Haven't had very many quick innings, if any at all.
Yeah, it's been a lot of long ones here this season. 2-2 from Rosencrantz is again fouled back.
You got this, buddy.
Milka really working the at bat here.
Heck of a battle we got on our hands here for Rosencrantz. You know, I like what he's doing. He's throwing the timing off, and Milka, you sometimes got to just tip your cap and say, hey, he's having a great fight.
2-2 once again is flared out toward right field. It'll sit down. Gowitz comes on.
Yeah.
Windmill on. Here comes the throw.
Yeah.
Not in time, and Missouri strikes first on the RBI from Trevor Milka.
Nice hit.
Still don't think that was enough to surpass me as best Trevor in the building, but you know what?
Trevor Butler would have sent it
Oh, yeah.
probably off the water tower there in
By
left
far.
center field.
By far.
Did you get it?
When I check swing, it goes off the water tower.
Did you pass it and make it look like your runs fast?
So Mizzou jumps out to an early 1-0 lead here on the RBI single from Trevor Milka.
And for Rosencrantz, doesn't feel great when that happens to you, but he had a great fight. Made good pitches, just once again got credit Milka there. And another point too I want to mention, last week and the weeks before, we haven't seen pitchers hitting the strike zone a whole lot, and Rosencrantz looking really well.
He has really been pounding the zone thus far.
That was a big issue last week, especially last week against Rockhurst, was the hit by pitches and the walks. And as a defender standing there when your pitcher can't find the zone, it's tough to stay focused.
That's left outside for ball 1. And you've talked about it a lot being a former pitcher, but just the trouble with issuing free passes for this Kansas team.
They always come back to hurt you. Every time somebody's leadoff walk, I wish I had the number, but I'd say I'd have to give it, you know, in the pros, maybe 250, 1 in 4 times they score, but here it's got to be way higher.
Runs inside, ball 3. Three balls and 1 strike, a hitter's count here to Colin Warner.
Right on cue.
Yeah, exactly.
First walk of the day thus far, and that's going to happen. Nobody's ever perfect. Even the pros, you're going to have a walk or 2 game. We got to limit it.
So that'll bring Matthew Andrews in, the man behind the dish today for Missouri. And it's a very good bunt from Andrews. Rosencrantz will fire to first. It skips away from Wright, who was covering the bag. 1 run will score. Here comes a second throw in, not in time. Missouri adds 2. As that one skipped in the dirt just in front of Shaton Wright. And it's 3-0 Tigers on the bunt double.
I don't think I'd give him a double for that one. I think also maybe I should just not bring up the points about the pitching and defense because, every time I think I just not the greatest luck charm. I jinx it every time. I mention, hey, can't walk, guys, and there you go. Perfect point. He scores.
I believe they call that the announcer jinx.
Happens all too much.
Maybe we just have bad luck.
Sometimes that is the way the cookie crumbles, and for this Jayhawk team, most of the time.
Rosencrantz back to work, and he induces a swing and miss on Mark Mason.
He just rushed his throw there. He got a little bit scared. He didn't fully see. He turned around as a left-hander. You got to turn around to throw, and didn't underestimated the amount of time he had and rushed his throw, spiked it in the ground.
That stays outside for ball 1, and now this is shaping up to look like another one of those innings that we've talked so much about. The big inning that has plagued this Kansas team time and again. As Mason sends that one out toward right field, Pollock will come on, and there's one down. Comes up firing, but no advancement.
And a nice job there to get yourself an out. 3 runs crossed already with nobody down, and you got to get one and try and swing this thing back your way. So nice job to be able to get a fly ball. But it's not always about, getting a ton of strikeouts. If you let your defense do the work, make them hit it.
So Danny DeHart will step back in, grounded out his first time up, the leadoff man for Missouri. And ahead in the count 1-0. That'll run inside, and it's 2-0.
Definitely a much smaller zone than we had last weekend. I think last weekend was an outlier, the very generous, massive strike zone.
Ground ball hit sharply, skips off McGovern. Another run is going to come around to score. DeHart holds up. Now throw back to first, not in time. And a 4th run will score as the turf hop bit Owen McGovern. I'm sorry, that's Grant O'Doherty. My apologies.
Second time he's hit a ground ball over there towards O'Doherty, and the first one he's able to make the play. That one pulled his glove up too early. Made a little boot save, but goes past him into the outfield still. And another error, and this is kind of where we've seen them let it snowball.
That's called for strike 1. And yeah, last weekend was certainly an outlier. I think everybody in that building wanted to get home and watch the end of the Masters. And what a finish it was. Rory McIlroy finally getting his masterpiece, as Jim Nantz said.
Beat me to it. Wanted to bring that point up. April is always the best time, in my opinion, for sports. This weekend we got the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We had the Madness National Championship the week before last. Obviously still the early goings of the MLB season, and for the NBA people there, you got the playoffs that start there too.
My Rockets are bringing it home this year, I believe. Runner goes, the throw runs inside, and it's going to be no throw down from Mike Ray as it bounced away from him.
Haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the NBA this year. Haven't really in a while. But if I do think I had to pick a team, I'd be a Thunder fan, I guess. They're the closest here.
That's fair. Runner goes again, swung on, tipped back into the glove. That's going to run wide. Nobody approaching it thus far, but DeHart will hold at third. So it was foul tipped into the glove of Ray for the second out, but the runner moves up 90 feet. So Kyle Ruff, who singled his first time up, will hit this one over toward O'Doherty. who corrals it and fires to first, but Mizzou adds 4. We head to the bottom of the second. Tigers 4, Jayhawks absolutely nothing. Back here for the bottom of the second. Kansas now forced to respond after a 4 spot in the top of the frame from Missouri. Grant O'Doherty will step in and take that one inside for strike 1.
O'Doherty's been busy.
As he knocks that one off the end of the bat, it'll settle in shallow right field, and he's got himself a leadoff single. So the leadoff man reaching for the second frame in a row, and the wind really blowing in now. Trying to position my body about as well as possible to where it's not going to be too much of a problem.
I was trying to say how busy O'Doherty's been today. He's got himself a few balls over there at short, and now he's busy in the batter's box. Nice leadoff single. See if he won't come around and score.
Pick-off attempt, and he trots on back with ease.
Likely not his A move, so don't want to get caught leaning still.
Now goes home with it. And Keelan Tunnel will take it for strike 1. So I believe it was originally Tunnel in left field and Gawitz in right field as Tunnel hacks at that one. It's chopped foul. But I believe they might have switched because Tunnel is wearing 24, and 24 is the one who made that excellent first inning grab out in right. So I believe it might be Tunnel in right field and Gawitz in left. We had it backwards. 0-2 on the way is left a little high for ball 1.
Check my lineup card they gave me and confirm that for you.
Runner tucks and goes in defensive indifference as Tunnel strikes out.
So I got Tunnel in left there still on the card they gave me. Is that a swing?
I do not believe so. Mike Gray steps in, swings at the first pitch he sees, hooking foul, but it'll go out of play. The wind caught it right at the last second as it has really picked up here. Certainly not as bad as Omaha a few weeks ago, but I made the poor decision of wearing short sleeves, thinking it would be a little warmer than it is, and that was a bad choice.
I think it's all right. It's sometimes you gotta make do with what you got.
Exactly.
Could always be worse. Could be raining.
Oh, it sure could be. Like it will be tomorrow, most likely. So Ray takes that one for ball 1. Yeah, our apologies for the wind. It is. I'm sure it's loud, the microphone, as he's way out in front of that one for strike 2. Blowing directly in at us. 0-2 on the way from Walker here as he looks for his sign. Now comes set. No, I'm sorry, he stepped on. And I've actually turned myself down a little bit as Ray swings through that one for strike 3.
Caught him with the high cheese there. I mentioned it's tough to lay off of. It always looks so good until it's not.
2 down now here at the bottom of the second. So Levi's feet will step in here. Swing at the first pitch he sees, chop it over towards second. On to first, and Kansas strands a man on second. We head to the top of the third, 4-0 Missouri. Top of the third, getting ready to get underway. Mizzou jumped out to the lead in the second inning. Now they're going to look to preserve it here, and it's going to be the man on the hill, Jake Walker, stepping in to start things off. Takes the first pitch he sees for strike 1.
First pitch strikes are huge, early and often.
As he takes a hearty hack at that one, but it's ripped foul.
Looked like maybe a change up there, just a hair out in front of it, yanks it foul.
So falling behind 0-2 here is Walker. As Rosencrantz left that one outside for ball 1. Rosencrantz looking to retire the first man he sees here in the third, and he'll do just that on the off-speed pitch.
Beautiful looking breaking ball there from Rosencrantz, his second punch out of the day. They're able to get the leadoff man.
So he fans Walker, and now with one away, John Wibbenmeyer, who led things off in the last inning with the double, will look to go back to doing damage. First pitch he sees hit sharply toward O'Doherty. Tough play, but he fires on over to first. Making up for the second inning error right there is Grant O'Doherty. So quickly 2 down here in the third, and Trevor Milko will step in once again.
Where last time you had that long at-bat, the lengthy one with a bunch of foul balls, and capped it off with that single to the right side.
So a chance here to put together a 2-for-2 day as that's left outside for ball 1. That's how the setback gets underway. Taken inside ball 2.
I like that pitch. It just broke a little bit too much inside, but want to keep it on his hand, jam him.
2-0 is going to be taken for strike one. Just clipping the zone there. And we've talked a little bit today about the weather thus far, especially for tomorrow. Taking a look at this field, it's a turf infield and warning track, and the outfield is grass. So, there is a chance we could play, but it is supposed to rain so much that it could just leave the field waterlogged. That's kind of the big concern at this time. Sent out towards center field from Milka. Pollock is under it, and Rosencrantz puts together a 1-2-3 inning. We head to the bottom of the third. Kansas looking for an answer on offense. Bottom of the third about to get underway, and it's going to be the bottom of the order for Kansas. Quinn Gawitz, the 9-hole hitter, leading us off. And we talked in the top of the frame about the concerns with this field getting waterlogged. And what'd you say about that? As Gawitz swings on the first pitch but pushes it foul.
Yeah, so I played here quite a few times, youth days and in the high school days, and I do remember there was a couple of rain games. I think it was my freshman year or 8th grade year, but I do remember the fielding, especially the infield being turf, it doesn't dry as well as you think it would.
Gawitz drives that one to left and notches himself a leadoff single. The freshman getting things underway here in the bottom of the third.
Well, I do remember, like, the outfield, it all kind of drains. It doesn't drain the way it's supposed to. It drains all to center field, so it gets really puddly, and then the turf is kind of the same. The turf isn't new. It's pretty old.
Pollock, first pitch he sees, pushed down the right side. Great play over a second. An excellent diving stop right there from Colin Warner to save a base hit. Gawitz goes to second, and there's one down. The Mizzou dugout calling Warner a good boy.
Rather interesting.
So Shayton Wright singled his first time up, and now he's got an opportunity to drive in Kansas's first run of the day as Gawitz sits on second.
For Pollock, there's got robbed last time, but that'll go down as a sack, so it's not going to hurt his average.
Would that be a sack or fielder's choice? What do you think?
I'd say it's got to be a sack because he had no chance at second base.
Yeah. Just an excellent play. Warner playing with his jersey untucked out there at second. You don't see that quite often.
Does he have his? I think it might be a sweatshirt hanging out from the bottom. I can't see it.
It's going to be some more action for him. Right. Hard 90s from Shayton Wright, but a second opportunity for Colin Warner. Gawitz will go to third, but there's two down.
I think he tried to take off early. He thought that was out number 3. Started running back towards his dugout. Pitcher said, "Hold on, man. You got one more."
So Kyle Davis will step in, swinging the first pitch he sees, pop it up on the infield. Miscommunication, but it's caught, and Kansas strands a runner at third. A man gets aboard on a hit, but nothing more. Top of the fourth on tap, and after a couple excellent plays over at second, Colin Warner is going to have an opportunity to hit here to lead things off in the fourth. First pitch he sees is hit sharply toward Orloff, who comes up firing. A good pick from Kyle Davis. It's 1 pitch and 1 out.
Beautiful scoop.
Got to give credit to your first baseman on that one. So Matthew Andrews will step in now.
And I don't really want to know what would have happened if that play didn't get made, knowing what we know about this team.
I have to imagine bad things would be the answer to that question.
I don't even know if you'd imagine. It's pretty much just not quite a guarantee. Not to be negative.
Shot out toward left field. It's going to settle in for a base hit. So Matthew Andrews with a 1-out single, and Mark Mason will step in.
Flew out to center field last time.
Kansas will look to spin a double play here. Mason's squaring around a bunt, excuse me, but he pulls back. Enjoying some sunflower seeds right now. Chinook Seedery, the company that Bobby Witt invested in. Pickoff attempt from Rosencrantz, and Andrews is back in time.
Spitz barbecue, the greatest seeds ever. That was always my go-to when I played. I haven't been much of a sunflower seed guy lately.
You know, I was thinking about that last night because I was always growing up a David's dill pickle guy. Always loved dill pickle seeds. Had the Chinook dill pickle seeds last night in the press box at Hoagland Ballpark. They were all right. I think I still prefer David's, but I lost my train of thought.
Sunflower seeds.
There we go.
Sunflower seeds and testing.
Yeah, I remembered it. So, you said that you're never much of a sunflower seed guy, as Mason sends that through the gap, down for a base hit single, and there's 2 aboard here with 1 away. But you had said you were never much of a sunflower seed guy, and I was snacking on them last night. I said to the guy next to me in the press box, I said, I never eat sunflower seeds, and then I have some, and I remember how good of a snack they are.
They're pretty good.
And then I'll get on like a week and a half of being on a really big sunflower seed kick, and then I'll forget about them again. Repeat that cycle every 6 months to a year.
And it's always interesting, like, when you see, like, you go off 6-month break from sunflower seeds and you see the new ones they come out with, like, remember, like, when I was little, first getting into baseball.
Hit toward left field, Godwin's going back, and he'll make the grab.
But I remember when I was really young, it was your basics. You got your cracked pepper, just original salt, barbecue, dill pickle. Now there's like tacos and cinnamon churro and all kinds of like things that just doesn't really sound like. And I've seen Taco Bell seeds now too.
I've seen those too. I had a pack last night of cinnamon toast seeds. A lot better than I thought that would have been.
I think that sounds too sugary. I feel like sunflower seeds, they're not a sweet treat. They're like some, a little bit of smoky flavor, or like your spices.
That's what I thought going into it. But it wasn't necessarily like they were entirely coated in like cinnamon sugar like you would expect, as that'll run in and catch it. Clearly didn't feel very good for Tyler Hackworth. And the bases are loaded with 2 down.
No harm, no foul. Hit by pitch. Don't want to see it. I'm not going to beat a dead horse because I've said it multiple times. But you need a ground ball. Get yourself out of it. Any base, back to the pitcher. You're coming home.
Rosencrantz leaves that one outside.
As they say, tag your bag.
Interesting play. Heads up, base running right there. And Mizzou swipes a run on the throwback to the pitcher. A delayed steal of home. Executed perfectly, and it's 5-0 Tigers.
So what happened? That throwback from the catcher for Ray, it skipped away.
That runs inside. Flip back, not in time. Mizzou adds another, so back-to-back heads-up base running opportunities from the Tigers, and 2 runs scored.
And there it goes. There you go again. They're just giving it to him, giving him runs. Bad throw back from the catcher on the first one. And actually, as I look over to my right, I believe it's Davis. I can't tell. But there is somebody warming up in the KU bullpen.
Throw to third, not in time. That appears to be Cam Foltz up and throwing in the Kansas bullpen.
There it is. You're right. I can't tell. Got a pole in my way, so I was halfway guessing, gambling, hoping I was right.
But back to what we were saying, no, I went in expecting the cinnamon sugar seeds to be like fully coated. Didn't know if I'd love them. It was a very light cinnamon sugar coating, and they were good. I mean, I can pretty gladly say I enjoyed them.
Smoked bacon, that was another one I was trying to think of. I couldn't figure out the name of, but they were okay.
Hit sharply but foul there.
You could certainly make it work. If that was all you had, that'd be really nice if you're craving some seeds, but probably not like, I'd say a solid 6.5, 6, 7 out of 10-ish. Somewhere between there.
Left inside, and he'll take a walk. Driven left field, that's going to sit down, and Jake Walker's got himself another RBI. And the Tigers take a touchdown lead, 7-0.
Walker's able to help his own cause there. Not often pitchers get to, well, maybe club baseball. But I always remember when I was pitching, especially like once I joined varsity and was doing that, it was kind of, in my club team too, pitchers didn't hit. You had a DH, but JV and years before that on your summer teams, you'd always pitch and hit. And I never was able to hit when I was pitching. So whenever I finally was on varsity and my summer club teams, as I got older, became a PO, it's always just easier to focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Because you find yourself sometimes rooting, not necessarily against your team, but when you're in a role, you don't want to have your momentum thrown off. So when your guys are out there hitting forever, it's always nice, but then it's also, you need it to go so you stay in your rhythm and you don't get cold. So I always thought that it was kind of hard to focus on hitting when I was really focused on pitching.
Runs inside, both runners will move up 90 feet fairly easily. And it's second and third with 2 away.
So with everybody that was on the bases just 2 hitters ago, they've all now scored with 2 outs.
That is pretty crazy.
Not a good stats here, but transparency.
Left high for ball 3.
It looks like he's starting to struggle here with his command.
Three and 1 hitters count. A big time swing right there, and it's missed for strike 2.
One more pitch, get your bats out. Can't walk them.
Rosencrantz with an opportunity to get out of the inning. Pierced back up the middle. O'Doherty charges. Couple hops. Fires. In time to get him. Mizzou plates 3 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. 7-0 Tigers your score.
So we're back here in the bottom of the 4th inning at Bettis Family Sports Complex in the state capitol. I'm taking play-by-play for a minute or two. Mason Kuntz, my partner Trevor, he's got a mouthful of sunflower seeds, so can't imagine that'd be too easy to speak. So I'll take over for a little bit. We got third baseman Justin Orloff, and he's going to wear one right on his left cheek. So 1 pitch and a man on. And that brings up O'Doherty, who made the last play of the last inning. Singled his last time around to right field. First pitch is taken up for upstairs for ball 1 from Jake Walker. Walker helped his own cause last inning. The base hit, a couple RBIs. His 1-0 is lined into the gap in left center field. And that sliding play from the center field is Kyle Ruff, and he makes the grab. Nice play there, and he robs, in all likelihood, extra bases from O'Doherty. So now it's the left fielder, Keelan Tunnel. Takes a breaking ball on the outside half of the plate for strike 1. Efficient day so far from Walker. 3 punch-outs, no walks, 1 hit by pitch. And Tunnel takes one high for ball 1. The 1-1 slide step, half swing, but that's a full swing in the eyes of the umpire, so it's a 1-2. Tunnel struck out looking his last time, so he's probably going to open up the zone. Looking to swing the bat. As I am so good at the announcer jinx, he takes one on the outside half for a called 3rd strike. Now they're quickly 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. So, sorry, as I was looking down, we have Mike Ray hitting, catcher. He's going to take ball 1. Ray struck out swinging last time. A quick pick move from Walker to first base, and Ray's back in time. Or, excuse me, Davis. We're going to try that one more time. Orloff. Having a miserable time. My note sheet's getting taken by the wind, every which direction. There's a slider outside for ball 2. Parmesan pepper sunflower seeds Trevor's munching on over there. Ray cuts on the fastball, and it's by him for strike 1.
I think I've eaten down enough to where I can at least articulate a sentence again.
He's back.
A little too much dip on my chip, a little too ambitious with the amount of sunflower seeds I was able to get in my cheek.
He bit off more than he could chew. In other words, full pun intended. Maybe not a good one, but had to take the chance there. The 3-1 is grounded to third, a diving play, and it gets through for a base hit. And so with 2 outs, Mike Ray comes through with a tough play. It will go down as a single. He's able to perfectly place his ground ball through that 5-6 gap. So now there's a couple guys on for Levi's feet, who grounded out to the second baseman his last time around.
Ray, good job bouncing back after striking out the first time up.
So now Feet with 2 away will look to keep the line moving, maybe scratch across their first run of the day. Walker from the stretch, it's tipped back in the glove, and maybe caught the umpire off the deflection of the catcher's glove. He'll go ahead and shake it off. His feed is quickly in the hole 0-2. The 0-2 is fouled back to the left side, kind of in that corner between where the backstop angles into the third base line and the behind the plate. The 0-2 is right back to that same spot, fouled back again. So his feed's now putting together a little bit of a battle after quickly taking 2 strikes to start, and he'll foul a couple more off. Don't want to get too antsy. Don't want to help the pitcher. Another 0-2 is a breaking ball. Close, but it is outside, and it's ball 1.
Looks like it just missed outside.
Tough take there for sure. The hitter always knows, though. The 1-2 is cut on and missed strike 3, so a couple of base runners for the Jayhawks. Still nothing doing to the Tiger 5th. They lead 7-0.
So back after it here in the top of the 5th, and Kansas's defense will now have to put together a fight, because if they allow 3 runs, do not score at the bottom of the frame, this one is history. First pitch is belted towards center, but Pollock is under it, and there's one down.
Nice hit.
Efficiency out of the new arm on the mound there for the Jayhawks. Cam Folds, 1 pitch, 1 out. That ball was punished, but unfortunate for Milka right at the center field. That's his second fly out of the day to center field.
So Colin Warner will step in now and take that low for ball 1. Chops that one toward third. Orloff comes up firing, and a good pick. Quickly 2 down. The Kansas defense thus far, listening to what we're saying up here.
Foltz was a part of that troublesome day for the pitching staff last week at Rockhurst and had a few hit-by pitches, but he's looking much, much better here this week. A little bit more efficiency.
So 2 down now. And this will be Matthew Andrews stepping in once again. Singled his last time up. 1-0 here is taken low ball 2.
He's in the right spot of the plate now. He's just got to fix that release point, and he's missing more up and down than he is left and right.
This time he misses a little inside. And it's taken low for ball 4. So 2-out walk.
You got your 9-hole here, Mark Mason. He did single last time, but you're okay. Take a deep breath, calm yourself. 2-out walk, but hey, lock back in. You got the 9-hole up. Get a ground ball and get your bats back out there.
First pitch a little high for ball 1. Throw it back, not in time.
Allergies are getting to me, dude. That was almost a catastrophe. I was very close to sneezing right into the mic. Now
You let me know, I can,
sounded
I can
bad.
mute you. Called for strike 1 in the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Kansas looking to escape scoreless.
Pray that there are no headphone users, because their eardrums would have been blown.
Taking ball 2.
Called a balk.
And they call a balk. Fultz doesn't love that. He looks back at the umpire. But Andrews will move up 90 feet. And now they'll call him back. Can't say I've seen that before.
Home plate umpire overrode his partner there. I think they tried to say that he broke when he came set. He broke his hands. Home plate umpire thinks otherwise, so they'll send him back. So no harm.
We'll try the 2-1 again here. Hacked foul back to the netting. Swung through strike 3. Mizzou strands a runner. When we head to the bottom of the 5th, 7-0 Tigers. So it'll be 9-1-2 here in the bottom of the fifth. Quinn Gawitz leading things off for Kansas. Going back to work after singling his last time up. Takes that outside for ball one, and we are back underway. Gawitz hooks that foul.
I have a hard time thinking it's going to happen here, but I'm still waiting for the day that we get our own foul ball hit
That would be
perfectly
awesome.
to us.
Yeah, I doubt that happens today, as Gawitz fans of that one for strike two.
It'd have to be like, especially from where we're at with the roof over us, it'd have to be perfect angle. I don't know if it's possible. One day we're going to get one, though. I have a feeling.
Gawitz calls time. I'm more scared of what would happen to the camera in that sort of scenario. Because that's outside for ball two.
Better be a brick wall. Nothing gets by you. Protect that thing with your life.
There's a reason catcher is my secondary position. I'm locked. Gawitz swings through that one for strike three. Back to the top of the order we go. Jackson Pollock 0 for 2 thus far. Reached on an error to start things off.
Walker's having himself a little bit of a day here. Punching tickets, 5 strikeouts here in the 5th inning.
Pollock pokes at that one, hits sharply over toward third, fires to first in time to get it. Head first slide was ambitious there from Jackson Pollock, but a little late. Two down, and Shayton Wright will step in. And they're chirping about the Kansas-Missouri basketball game. The greatest moment in the history of the University of Missouri, I know.
I had the misfortune of being there, the displeasure, and I had to get home back to Kansas. Otherwise, I almost thought about staying for the banner ceremony. I could have sworn they had some kind of federal holiday planned for that rare occurrence of them contributing to sports, and good for them.
No, you gotta take what you can get if you're a Mizzou fan. Wright pokes that one over towards second, sliding stop, firing to first. And Kansas is retired in order. For the 6th to go, is still 7-0. Back to it once again, the top of the 6th, and the same sentiment from the 5th still stands. Kansas trying to prevent 3 runs from being scored.
And it doesn't really matter. You got to score runs yourself. So
First pitch swinging popped up kind of into no man's land. Tuttle will come on and slide and make the grab. 1 pitch, 1 out for the 2nd inning in a row.
you were talking about the run rule. I didn't quite get to finish, but run rule doesn't matter if you don't score.
Exactly.
You can lose 9-0 or you can lose 10-0, but if you got nothing, it doesn't do you any good either way.
Check swing. I believe he did go.
It is a full swing in the eyes of the umpire, or maybe a called strike.
I guess the thought process is more you don't want to. There's less you don't want to get run ruled, the more you want the opportunity to be able to take some cuts. And if you get run ruled enough, if the defense lets up 3 here, they'll have only one more chance to add a few runs as he's going to wear it off the small of his back.
Second time today.
Tyler Hackworth is going to take the jaunt over to first for free.
Ball magnet. That was always fun to yell, especially when you got. We always had one guy. It seemed like each season it was somebody different, but there was one person that just got hit way more than everybody else did. You just scream ball magnet, and they'd get so irritated.
Runner goes, chop foul though.
There's nothing more aggravating when somebody's yelling that at you right after you've been hit.
Yeah, personally, I was never a fan of that. As he gets back in time, I feel like, especially after you've gotten hit, because a lot of guys will struggle with command. Every once in a while, you get one left up by your head. You wear one off the helmet. You pop up, and everyone's chanting ball magnet, and sometimes you might be a little disoriented, get your bell rung, and you're just not happy about that. Throw down.
Got him.
Way in time. And there's 2 down. Mike Ray, a laser from behind the plate to nab him.
Hosed him. Beautiful play.
So 2 down here in the 6th now. That's taken low for ball 1. Shot foul, and the count is even 1-1. Oh, I'm sorry, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Deuce is wild.
Top of the 6th. That's hammered out toward left field, and it'll sneak through the gap. And it's a 2-out single from Kyle Ruff. Second hit of the day for the center fielder. So Jake Walker will step back in. 5 Ks on the mound, and he's got himself a base hit here at the plate. As he hacks on the first pitch he sees, hooking foul, but Fultz will apply the tag just in time. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Missouri scoreless once again, 7-0. So stepping back in here for the bottom of the 6th, it's Kyle Davis to lead us off, and it's another inning of work from Walker. Davis swings at the first pitch, elevates that out toward left field, but it's caught. Got good bat on ball, did Kyle Davis. Just hung up there a little too long. There's one down. So Justin Orloff will step in here, searching for his first hit of the day.
A lot of first pitch swinging on both sides. Efficiency here late too. Seen it more, but one pitch, one out.
Again, first pitch swinging. This one hammered out toward left. It'll sit down just in time, and Orloff's got himself a base hit. Kansas jumping on the first pitch. 2 batters in a row.
Really nice contact both times too. Davis was just unfortunately a little bit too much under it.
Left outside, called strike 1. Grant O'Doherty stepping in here. Our runner sitting on first. A chance to try and move him around. Swings at that one, lofted high out toward left field. A lot of action here for Tyler Hackworth as he camps under that one and makes the grab. So that'll bring Keelan Tunnel to the dish. Leaves that one outside for ball 1. Tunnel with 2 away, trying to prolong this inning a little more.
Who's driving the bus? Give it to the next guy.
Outside once again, and he jumps ahead 2-0. So a positive start to this at bat for Tunnel. Hacks with the 2-0 and fouls it right back toward us. You know, if there was a screen in the way, that might have been it for us. Might have been our
I'm looking for a can of corn first. That one was a laser. That would have been a little stinger on the hand. I don't want that one.
With the cold, that would have.
I am not catching that one.
We're ducking out of the way. Tunnel hammers that one. Excellent stop again. Throw to first. Wow. Yet another red gem from Colin Warner to rob Tunnel of a base hit. Having himself quite a day as the Missouri second baseman. Final ups for both teams on the way. Mizzou still leading this one 7-0. Back after it here in the top of the 7th, and Cam Foltz inducing a check swing, strike 1 to start things off. Foltz out for his 3rd inning of work. He has been able to right the ship thus far for Kansas, as that's left outside for ball 1. The final ups here for Mizzou in the top of the 7th. Game number 1. We'll play another just after this, as that's left in the dirt for ball 2.
That second game, too, you mentioned just after this. If it's anything like this first game, we'll probably get started pretty early.
I would think so. This one got started pretty quickly as it's left low, 3-1. Got started about 8 minutes before the slated noon start time. We got underway at about 11:52. 3-1 hitters count is taken for strike 2.
Been moving right along all day today. Other than those couple long innings from the Tigers, it's been quick. Not a lot doing from either side other than those two.
That's taken for ball 4, and Fultz issues a free pass here to start off the 7th.
A couple of fly outs to center field last time for Milka.
Steps in again and leaves that one inside for ball 1. Fultz kicks, fires, and that's going to be shot out toward tunnel in right field. And it skips off his glove. Milka will hold it first. It skipped off Tunnel's glove. Tough play in right field. And there's 2 men aboard.
Tough play out there for Tunnel. That'll go down as a hit. Diving play, just couldn't get it to stick in his glove. Milka wasn't running, Wittenmeyer wasn't running because he had to wait, so.
Yeah, wisely just waiting to see what happened there, but it ends up kind of helping but kind of hurting the Tigers. That's left inside for ball 1.
Fortunate for the Jayhawks as much as it could have been.
As that's taken for strike 1. Wind picking up again. Can't feel my hands right now. As that's left in the dirt for ball 2.
It is whipping, that is for sure.
I'll have to take a look at the score of the Sunflower Showdown baseball games. That's taken for strike 2. Let's see what's going on there. If I can type, it's going to take an extra second to type just because my hands are so stiff. Kansas is up 4-3 in the top of the 5th in that one. As that's chopped fair, Orloff doesn't step on the bag, and he's going to be safe. Could have had the force out at third, but he holds off.
Bang bang play there. I think he might have been out, but from where we're at, it's hard telling.
Let's take a look at what has happened thus far. Both teams scored 1 in the second inning. K-State added 2 in the top of the 3rd. As that one's blooped foul. K-State added 2 in the top of the 3rd. Kansas got 1 back in the 3rd. And then scored 2 in the bottom of the 4th to take the lead. Not too bad. Jayhawks going for the series win in that one. Bases loaded, nobody away. Delayed steal,
Suicide
and that did not
squeeze.
work. They tried the suicide squeeze. It did not pay off. Mike Ray, head on a swivel to tag the runner out at home, and there's 1 down.
I know it's club baseball and the rivalry, but I think that's kind of Bush League. Suicide squeeze when you're
up 7 runs in the final inning. As that's hammered out toward, it's going to settle in the infield and be caught. It looked pretty decent off the bat. He just was a little too far under it and popped it up too much. It was too wet.
I know certainly if I was on the mound, he had his chance and he missed. He wasn't able to put the bunt down. He's catching one right in the back. I don't care who it is, you're getting nailed. I'm sorry. Bush League.
2 down now.
Nice.
Grounded, skips off the mound. Good play, O'Doherty. Throw on to first in time. The Kansas defense forces a noble Tiger. And we head to the bottom of the final inning. Kansas offense looking for a rally. Last ups for Kansas here, back to the wall, trailing 7-0, looking to rally here in game number 1 of 2 today. Mike Ray is going to lead us off, Levi Sweet and Quinn Gawitz on deck and in the hole. As it's another inning of work from Jake Walker, looking to go the distance. Leaves that one inside for ball 1, and that's how we get things going.
I have to imagine it'd take a lot to get him pulled. Even if he gives up a few runs, I think I'd leave him, let him try and get that CG.
Called strike 1. Yeah, you've got quite a cushion at 7-0. I mean, in the case Kansas plates 4 and has the bases loaded, then you might start thinking about taking him out as that drops in for ball 2. The Zoo dugout wanted a strike right there.
Third base dugout looking pretty thin over there. Not a whole lot. A lot of extra guys there.
Ray chops it foul, and the count goes 2-2. Deuce is wild, as you might say.
Deuce is wild. I don't know. There's not 2 outs.
That's true. Deuce is a little bit wild.
Pocket pair of deuces, maybe.
2-2. Is hammered fair. Great play over at third, but the throw is not in time. I think that'd go down as an infield single for Mike Ray.
Absolutely. Amazing job just to be able to keep it in the infield.
So Sweet will step in with a runner on first now. Swings at the first pitch he sees and can't connect. Oh, 1 is popped up and hooks foul just over the Mizzou bullpen. So his feet behind 0-2 quickly here. Leaves that one inside for ball number 1.
Momentum. Need to get momentum, especially for the next game, even if you're not going to.
Outside 2-2.
The odds are stacked against you in this game, but,
Never say never.
string a couple hits together, see what you can do, maybe bring this game back. But
Baseball's a crazy sport. Call ball 3. Count full here to Levi Sweet. And he stays alive, fouling that one off.
making it that much harder for Walker to get his CG.
Yeah, he's going to force him to throw a few more pitches at least. There's an arm lightly up and throwing in that Mizzou bullpen now, as that's fouled back again. So Sweet continuing to work the count here and try and drive up Walker's pitch count. As he takes ball 4 down low, Mizzou dugout didn't love it. Kansas dugout sure does, and there's first and second with nobody away. So Quinn Gawitz will step in. 1 for 2 today. He singled his first time up, struck out his second. Swings at the first pitch he sees, flares it out toward right field, and it's caught, 1 down. So back to the top of the order with Jackson Pollock now. Searching for his first hit of the day, fly out and a couple ground outs for the center fielder.
He's got a man standing there, at least break up the shutout.
Swings at the first pitch he sees, flip to second, barehand play on to first, safe. No double play allowed as Pollock grounds into a fielder's choice, and he's a little shaken up after that one. So it'll be runners on the corners with 2 away here for Shate and Wright. Walker kicks and fires. Pollock swiping a bag, and Wright singles one through the right-hand side. And Kansas gets on the board with 2 down here in the 7th. The CGSO is done for Jake Walker. Kansas finally plating a run after 6 2/3 shutout from Walker.
Build on that now. Like I said earlier, you got 2 outs in all likelihood. It's going to take a lot to get 6 before you make an out, but use that for next game.
Left outside, defensive indifference. That was called for strike 1, actually. Defensive indifference allows Wright to move up to second. Kyle Davis looking to add some more as he swings through that one for strike 2, and Kansas is down to its final strike. Oh-2. Is driven out toward left field. Could be a tough play. Sliding grab. And that'll end it for game 1. Missouri parlays 2 big innings into a victory.